Sheev was the eldest son of House Palpatine's patriarch, Kasinga, and raised in his ancestral home, the Convergence, which was located near the lake country of Naboo. Sheev and his father could both recognize a power growing inside of the young Dark Lord, so much that Kasinga had Sheev tested to make certain that they were related. Sheev would mature fast, and with his high intelligence and ambition, urged his father to take a more active role in politics for the sake of Naboo to transition into the Republic. Kasinga, though, felt he had already had power, and questions as to why he needed power outside of Naboo. Sheev would long to kill his father, and would begin to daydream of the day he could do it, to commit patricide. Sheev would denounce his given name as spite to his family's lack of ambition, and demanded to only be called Palpatine. So, Palpatine would take a vested interest in the black market of Naboo, and use his family's wealth to purchase forbidden Sith lore. This lore would unlock newfound goals outside of the political goals, the acquisition of absolute power. Palpatine decided he was worthy, and that all he needed was an opportunity. Palpatine would attend the most prestigious schools on Naboo, and even race speeders competitively, but the dark part of his teenage years came around 67 BBY. A Dark Lord of the Sith named Plagueis killed his master, and after a vision of the Chosen One, the Force would lead Plagueis to Naboo. Palpatine would be working diligently to undermine his father's political agenda, which was to maintain Naboo's government as an isolationist policy to protect the world from interplanetary corporations and Republic expansion. Plagueis, also known as Higo Damask, would arrive on Naboo after a subtext mining group located a plasma reserve under the palace Theed. Damask would offer Bon Topolo, a candidate for the Naboo throne, support, if he could have exclusive rights to mine the plasma. Palpatine's rise of political power garnered the attention of Damask, who wanted a second option. Damask would soon meet Palpatine while at the Theed University, and Damask would be intrigued by the fact he was unable to peer into the young man with the Force. Damask would offer Palpatine a spy position for Damask Holdings. Kasinga would quickly learn of his son's dealings with Damask and would begin to thwart any communications with the two. Damask would find a way to communicate with Palpatine and alert him of his father's interference. Palpatine would beg for advice, and Damask would take advantage of the fear and tell him to do whatever it took to be released from his father's control. Soon, Palpatine and his family would travel on the family yacht to Chandrila, which sparked a family argument. This argument would reveal Kasinga's long desire to kill him as a child. This statement allowed Palpatine to draw upon the dark side of the Force to violently smash his father's skull against the ship's bulkhead. He then proceeded to slaughter everyone on board, which included the rest of his family and the guards. The aftermath of this led Palpatine revealing his act to Higo Damask, who would then reveal he was Darth Plagueis. Plagueis would initiate Palpatine into the Sith ranks, and after a communion, the dark side of the Force would choose Sidious as his title of Dark Lord. Plagueis would waste no time in the training of Sidious, and would take him to the cold and barren plains of Megiddo. There, Sidious was forced in freezing temperatures to tell the story of his family's slaughter in exact detail, over and over again, depriving Sidious of food, water, and sleep. At the brink of death, Plagueis considered him worthy, and they began to train him in combat and force abilities while teaching him of Darth Bane's rule of two. However, Plagueis would not teach him all the knowledge to keep Sidious's desire high. The two Dark Lords would lay out the foundation of the grand plan, which saw Plagueis as the power behind the throne, and Sidious as a proxy in the form of Palpatine. Sidious would do his part by training a Sabrak Mel named Maul to be his assassin, and moved up the Naboo political line with aid from Damask Holding to become a senator. From here, Plagueis and Sidious would begin a political campaign that would span years and allowed for corporations such as the Trade Federation to become allies of the Sith. The last act before the grand plan was to begin was to destroy all rogue dark side practitioners, which included the Sun Guard and the Dark Force, which Sidious defeated and reformed into the prophets of the dark side. From here, the events of the Phantom Menace would take place, and shortly after the death of Qui-Gon Jinn, Sidious would kill Plagueis. With the celebration of his election to Supreme Chancellor, they would celebrate at the Kaladani Spires, which saw Plagueis drink wine enough to put him in an alcohol-induced sleep. From there, Sidious would unleash Force lightning until Plagueis would die of pure agony, all while Palpatine would mock and disparage Plagueis about his manipulations as a young boy. Just as Plagueis died, Sidious would proclaim himself as Sithari, or Rule of One, and vow to never let an apprentice gain too much power and to keep them as tools. Sidious would also vow to never succumb to sleep or show any signs of weakness, and would move forward with his grand plan to rule the galaxy as the Immortal Emperor.